Hi guys, welcome to Software Jobs Training, and in this video we are going to cover the functions in detail. Okay, so as in previous sessions we have seen that the functions are actually a block of code that can execute by calling it, right? So right now we are going to see that how to make our functions more responsive, more dynamic, so that they can actually respond to the input that has actually passed to the function. Okay, so to pass some data inside a function, we need to pass it as arguments. Okay, so arguments is basically the data that is actually passed to a function. Okay, so to pass so let's see it by example that over here we have a function that is going to add to 10. Okay, so there's a variable that says some number, and the total is going to actually add 10 to that number. Okay, so this number is not fixed. Okay, so we are actually going to pass it through as an argument. Okay, so to pass an argument, while you call the function, you actually need to pass the argument over here inside the parenthesis. So we are going to pass 5, and this will actually be passed to this variable. Okay, so this variable will actually have the value of 5, and then it will do the 10 plus 5 maths, and the total will be 15. Okay, so suppose I change it to 20 and then try to run this code, and as you can see that the output will become 30 because the argument that we have passed is 20, and it will be actually transferred to this variable that says some number, and then it will actually add the 10 to the number that has been passed. So 10 plus 20 is equal to 30, and that output will be actually shown on the screen. Okay, so you can also pass multiple arguments into your functions, or you can pass the text values, strings, or you can also pass the numbers, right? So here we have my function that is going to accept 2 colors. Okay, so these colors are actually variables that are going to be passed through the arguments. Okay, so to pass multiple arguments, make sure that they are separated by commas, and then you can just catch them over here. All right, and then to show them, we are actually concatenating the string with the variables. Okay, because this is a fixed string, right, and this one is actually a variable. Okay, so we cannot show it like a static string. This is dynamic, so we need to end our string over here and then put a plus symbol, and then put the variable name, and then again put the plus symbol and start our string, and we can do this as many times as we want. Alright, so this plus symbol is actually concatenating. This is actually joining up the strings. Okay, so we could not afford to put this color one into the double quotes, so we had to close this first and then join our variable to the string using a plus symbol. So this is a concatenation symbol. So in technical words we call it concatenation. Alright, so let us go to the live editor and see how to create the functions and pass multiple arguments to them. Okay, so I'm going to live editor. Okay, so I'm going to create a new file, and name it as functions1.html and hit OK. Okay, so here we have our functions1.html, and I'm going to start writing the HTML code. Inside head I can specify the title, so that can be JS functions. So let's just start writing a function that is going to add. Okay, and here we'll write a variable name that will actually catch up the argument that has been passed. So this is actually a parameter in technical terminology. This is called a parameter. Okay, so I'm going to create a new variable that says total is equal to 10. We're just going to add the number that has been passed as an argument with 10. Okay, so this number will be actually coming from the argument, and then 10 will be added to it, and then we will write out this function. Okay, and this total value of the calculation. So then I need to call this function up, because without that it will not work. Alright, so I'm going to pass 8 as an argument, so this will be going to the mynum, and then 10 will be added. So according to my math set, it is going to show up 18 on the screen. So let's just save this up and view. So as you can see that it says 18, right? So in case you want to pass multiple arguments, make sure that they're just separated by commas. So now let's just modify our code and see how to accept 2 arguments and add them. Okay, so I can just say that num1 comma num2. So these one will be actually the parameters that will be catching up the arguments, and over here I can just say 6 comma 8. Alright, so 6 and 8 will be passed, and then I need to make a small change over here and say num1 plus num2. Okay, so in this way you can use the same function again and again by just changing the data that you are passing to it. So this is a really good technique for programming your things. So I'm going to save this up, and as you can see that the output is saying that 14. Okay, remember we did the concatenation, right? So let me just concatenate a string to this and say total answer is equal to, and then put a plus symbol. Okay, so I've written a string that says total answer is equal to. So this is going to be displayed as it is, and then I close the double quotes, and then I put the plus symbol and concatenated the total variable to this, because this total variable is actually dynamic, right? So if I would have put this inside the double quote, so it would have just simply shown total string. Okay, so I do not want the text to be shown as total. I want the value of total to be shown on the screen. Okay, so let's just save this and run one more time. So as you can see that this string has been concatenated with the total variable. Okay, so in this way you can actually concatenate it multiple times. Okay, so back to the console. As you can see that you can also pass strings into the arguments. Okay, so here the fav color 1 is actually passing on red, and fav color 2 is actually passing on the blue. Okay, so you can pass on variables, you can pass on integer values or text values, and they'll be simply caught using the parameters color 1, color 2. So that's pretty much it, and then we have done the concatenation. So we have already discussed this. So going to the slide number 4, and here we see that how to return the values. Okay, sometimes we actually want the function to just return a value and do not show any output on the screen. Okay, so for that we need to use a return keyword. Okay, and the calling of the function is going to remain the same, and as you can see that there is a function that says get sum. A comma B are the two parameters that are going to catch up with the arguments that have been passed to them. Okay, and this function is actually going to return the sum of these two numbers. Okay, so this will not actually show the output while you call this function. Okay, it will just return the sum of these. We use the return keyword because sometimes we just really do not need to show any output on the screen. We just need this to call some functions for the internal functionality, or to implement something that needs to call a function internally and do not show any output on the screen. So for that, it can just quietly return a plus b. Okay, so this will silently return the answer, but it will not show up on the screen until you write the document.write. Okay, so the calling of the function is again same. So get the sum is actually the name of the function, and to get the returned value you will have to create one more variable, and make sure you give a name to this one and put an is equal to symbol, and then you put the function name. Okay, so this will actually transfer the returned value into this variable that says sum, and then if you want to show this on the screen, then you can just document.write this variable that says sum. Okay, and slide number 4 is actually a skill assessment, so I'll just skip this up. So great job so far, and we have reached the end of this session, so thanks a lot for watching.